If y'all don't mind, just to clear up something or make it more plain, I will pass the gavel. And I talked to our attorney, our other attorney, about this item, about when you speak and when you can't speak. And this is the way we did it at the county, and it seemed to work well. But I asked about the comments on speaking at the time of the thing. We have a consent agenda, that's the time, and a regular agenda, that's the time. We give the time at the front of the meeting to talk about those things, and we give a time at the end of the meeting to talk about anything you want. And on every public hearing, we give you time. Each and every public hearing. And I was told that we afforded the opportunity for conversation on those items. And I think it's working good. There's some things that I know we all disagree on, but to give everybody the opportunity to do what they want to with it, I'm going to make a motion that we adopt the style of running a meeting in the way which we're running it.
May I have a question? Offer a question before your motion, sir?
That's the time to question.
Well, I know we don't have a second, and you're running the meeting. So.
I know. Proceed.
My question is that our city charter says that the mayor will conduct the meetings. Now, I interpret that to say the mayor will set up the agenda, the format of the meeting, and pretty much determine will run the meeting, which is what you're doing now. Is that you are determining the order of the meeting. You've changed it some from the previous administration, but the city charter gives you that right to administer the meeting in a format and agenda the way you see fit.
Can I?
But I disagree. Just because we do have a resolution that says that after each item people can talk, because by the end of the meeting or at the beginning of the meeting they might not have a question.
And I agree with.
I mean, why do we have a resolution if we're not following that?
I agree with the mayor in that we might have a conflicting with the charter and a resolution. There might be something that needs tidying up there. I think that we give everyone here a minimum of 6 minutes to speak, and as well as any item that has a public workshop, public hearing, we give them another 3 minutes on that, which most of us should be able to state our position in 3 minutes. So that would be a minimum of 6 minutes. And what we do have that we saw in previous city council meetings, and Mrs. Strange and I were here and saw it, was that we don't completely lose control of the meeting and have people standing up and shouting and talking endlessly with no time limits and calling city council people murderers and things like that. So, I mean, this gives us better control, reasonable control, not stiff-arming anybody, and gives everybody out here 6 minutes to speak, and longer if it's a public hearing.
So are you seconding that motion? Or
I interrupted the motion. I apologize. So
no, I was just asking that. I've asked now twice also with council. I asked the previous council when it was brought up, and I spent some time just this week, I believe. We discussed that again with council regarding the resolution. And I'd like the attorney to explain why it is that we're not in violation regarding that, because he was able to go ahead and express, as the other attorney Amy was, that a resolution is something that was passed, but we're not in violation of the actual rules and the regulations that we have by the state and the charter. So just if you don't mind.
Yeah, I mean, like I was saying to you, we're certainly not violating state law or not violating our charter. There is that resolution. A resolution is not a law. It's not a city law. It's just an administrative expression of the city, and it can be temporary. And, really, looking back at how these meetings have been conducted since the present mayor is here, my understanding is he's been conducting them the way we are, today. So this is going on a year now. So really, even though you had that resolution, through the course of action, I mean, there's really been a de facto amendment to it anyway, because of the way you guys have been conducting these meetings. The way you're conducting them today and the way you've been conducting them all year is compliant with state law. State law just says you need a reasonable opportunity to be heard before the commission on any item that you're going to vote on. It doesn't even have to be on the same day. Just reasonable opportunity, so you can have, I'm going to have public hearing time on Mondays, I'm going to have voting time on Tuesdays, and on Tuesdays you don't have to hear from anybody. That's legal. We don't do that. You let them talk at the beginning of the meeting on any and all agenda items, and then of course you've got public comment on the end just for the good of the order. And that's allowed also. There's specifically, the state says you can designate a specific period of time for these public comments. So legally, everything's fine. The only issue is, well, what about this prior resolution? And again, that's not a law, that's not a city law, it's not an ordinance, it's just an administrative expression that can be changed. It can be changed today by motion, or I would say it has been changed just by action of the council over the last year.
So that's on a follow-up on that, and I think it's important because the resolution was passed by past council, and it hadn't really been discussed by this council, so it's a good time to go ahead and discuss it then. And so me not having signed off with that ordinance or the actual resolution back when it was done, I have no problem seconding the motion that's been made to go ahead and clarify so that we are, by resolution, following what we are doing then.
Well, I mean, you can do, I think it was just a motion. Okay.
He made a motion, I'll second that motion. Mayor?
A discussion, may I have a discussion moment, please? And the alternative would be to let anyone speak on every agenda and consent agenda item for 3 minutes, or indefinitely, or?
It's basically leaving it the way it is.
So it wouldn't be 3 minutes per item.
Yeah.
You just have 3 minutes
Right.
to discuss 5 or 6 items.
As we do it now.
If you wanted to discuss all 5 or 6, I say the chances of somebody besides the city council, being involved in all 6 items would be rare. I mean, usually there'd be some folks are here because there's 1 or 2 issues that concern them and affect them.
I don't think 3 minutes is long enough if they have an issue with 3 items.
And the council can say,
They can
they
extend.
can continue.
It's already in the.
I have several times when people have asked for
You have.
more, I've asked
You're right.
to see if anybody wanted to do that.
I just don't want
I
it
think that
locked
takes
in
care of
to
it.
cement.
Can we put that in there? I mean,
Yeah,
if
or-
we got-
It is. I mean,
Well, I mean,
again, are you you can just do, right now, you're just doing a motion to say, look, we're going to, by motion, vote to do what we're doing right now. If you want me to bring back another resolution, that'd be different. I don't think you need to do that. It's up to the council.
We still have the other resolution in place that's confusing Mr. Thompson and others.
That's what we're trying to do, is rectify today, is changing that resolution to a new resolution, or just repeal that resolution.
We're following state law.
We're following
My
state law.
motion says we're following state law, and we're not following a resolution that was done by somebody else.
Now, so we are, the motion then, Mr. Mayor, is eliminating that resolution. This council is eliminating that, which it certainly has a right to do, right?
If you want to eliminate them, you're already made that something violated.
I don't have any more questions.
What's wrong with 3 minutes on every item?
As the resolution says.
Yeah, it's not a long time.
Call for the vote, please.
Councilwoman Strange?
Actually, you need to go to the next person. I'll be the last one to vote since I'm...
Sorry, ma'am.
So we can still give, if someone comes up and has 2 items they want to talk about, they'll get 6 minutes, 3 and 3.
freedom of speech.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, we need to, because actually I've come in here before, I was up here and I've spoke on 3 different items.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to roll to get it in with 3 minutes.
But you were running your office too.
I was, but, and I'm here,
And
you know what I mean?
we've all done that.
That's right, that's right. That road's built too, ain't it? We're going, so we're rolling. So what I'm saying is, you know, as long as they, and I think they should come up here and state, hey, and let us know, hey, I have 2 items I want to discuss. But let them let us know beforehand.
Yeah.
We you know, we need to know.
That undoes, that seems to me to undo what we just did, though. Because we're gonna have this, it'd be 2 times 3 minutes unless somebody wants to talk more.
Well, the mayor at that point can say, time up.
That's true.
I think you have, if you just pass this motion right now that was made, you have your 3 minutes. What we're doing now, you've got 3 minutes at the beginning of the meeting to talk on 10 items. Period. So you're going to try to cram them into 3 minutes. If you have 3 items in your mind, once you get to the end, it'd be, you ask the mayor, just like it happened before, you know what, I really want to talk about item 7 and item 9. Can I get a couple more time? And then you guys decide. So, that's how it would work.
So at the very beginning of the meeting, if somebody has a question about 3 items, they can't, whatever it says, public comments at the very beginning, they can't do it then? Or they can do it then and
That's
they can
what
do it at the end?
No, the motion was to have a vote to formally recognize what we're doing now, what we've been doing for the last year. And so nothing would change from what we've been doing for the last year. So at the beginning, at whatever it was, item 4, where it says public comment on any agenda item or consent agenda item, you would come up here.
I understand that, but if, let's say, for example, I'm sitting out there and I have a question about 4 items. Can I come up at the beginning of the meeting and say, I have a question about 4 items?
Yeah, you do that now. So I've got, well, you have 3 minutes.
Probably be at the mayor's.
And if you can't get all 4 items in 3 minutes, you would ask for permission to extend it. I mean, that's what it is right now.
45 seconds.
Councilman Solis?
Yes.
Councilman Riker?
Yes.
Councilman Chester?
Yes.
Mayor Thomas?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilwoman Strange?
No.
Thank you.
Back.